Good day, everyone. Welcome to Envision English. Today, in this series of lectures on Cbse English, we are going to have a look into that Unit 2 Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom, which was written by Nelson Rowling-La Mandela. In this lesson, before we read, we have to understand what is the importance behind this lesson, what is the importance behind this text. It will help you to understand racism. It will help you to understand colonization, white supremacy, and what happened in South Africa, and who came to give the freedom of South Africa, and how many of them fought for the freedom of South Africa, and for what reason they have been colonized. So, after all, we should know what is colonization, what is the impact of colonization. So when you read this lesson clearly, you can find answer for these questions. This is a lesson Nelson Mandela wrote about his experience of apartheid, his experience of slavery, and especially the speech given here is he has given during the time of the construction of Republic country. And Nelson Mandela became the South Africa's first black president. And his African National Congress, shortly known as ANC, has won 252 seats out of 400. After this massive victory, he planned to construct the democratic government there. And before that, it was a racial government. It is a colonial government. So this winning of 252 seats brought them way for a construction of democratic government. And the theme can be, it is black versus white, democratic versus colonialism, and rural versus invaders. So in this regard, the theme can be divided. And now, before we read the lesson, we should be very careful about some terms. Apartheid, racial discrimination, gender discrimination, white supremacy, emancipation. These are all the words we should be very clear. So when you are clear with the meaning of these words means we can easily understand or grasp the content of the lesson. Now, the lesson starts in the page number 16, but of course in 17 the actual line starts. The 10th May dawned bright and clear. So the 10th May month, the date is 10th. So 10th May, he saw that the day dawned us in a bright and clear manner. So before the 10th May, 9 and 8, so before this, for some centuries, they don't have the bright day. They have a bright, which means that they are in a dark, which means that they are in confusion. And clear, the clear represent the clear vision about the future. The clear represent the clear vision about their career. So before the 10th May, no one is having a clear idea about what they are going to do. And no one is having a bright vision about their future because they are in dark. They are in unclear situation. They are colonized. Nelson Mandela feel happy for the presence of various dignitaries from the various countries. They all came together to witness the new construction of government, a new construction of democratic government. They all came there to witness it, which shows that even there are some countries, there are some people who is ready to rule over on some other country, but still the majority of the people is ready to support the democratic government, is ready to eradicate the slavery, is ready to wipe out the slavery, which gives the extra support to Nelson Mandela and his further days. And this particular incident, event is happening in the lovely sandstone amphitheater formed by the Union Building in Pretoria. So here in this line, we can expect one question. Page number 17, second paragraph. Again I am reading. Lovely sandstone amphitheater formed by the Union Building in Pretoria. in which building that occasion is going to happen, in which building the Nelson Mandela is going to speak. He is going to take oath and he is going to initiate the democratic government. But and here itself he is mentioning that for decades, this building also became a seat of white supremacy. But now it came to that black people. Now it is coming to the democratic government. And on the lovely autumn day, in his entire speech, the first mentioned name was her daughter's name. Her name is Zenoni, and two deputy president name. The first one is Thabo Mbeki. He is the first deputy president. Of course, in the text, his name is mentioned second, but Thabo Mbeki, he is a first deputy president. And second deputy president, Mr. D. Clerk. So in this area also we can expect a question. So who are all the deputy president? The one is Thabo Mbeki. He is the first deputy president, but of course he was sworn in as a deputy president as a second person, and the second deputy person is Mr. D. Clerk, but he is the one who sworn in. He is the one who take oath first. So of course he took oath first, but he is the second deputy president. That you have to understand. And now the speech started here in the page number 18. This starts like this. Today, all of us do, by our presence here, confer glory and hope to the newborn liberty. And in this, when you read that entire lesson, you cannot find even a single word that it is going to be the country of black people. We are going to rule over the white people. These kind of lines you cannot see anywhere. So we are getting out of the clutches of white supremacy or colonial government. Now we are going to build the democratic government. So this is the idea throughout the lesson he wants to convey, which means that we are, and later part he tells that one sentence, that is oppressor and oppressed. The oppressor and also the oppressed, both are robbed of their humanity respectively. So if I am oppressing someone, I am also a prisoner of hatred. If you are being oppressed means you are also a prisoner of hatred. So you are a prisoner of hatred which was given by me, and I am a prisoner of my own hatred. This is what Nelson Mandela wants to convey. So if you want to imprison others means first you are imprisoning yourself because of hatred. That is what he is trying to convey. Even though he spent almost 30 years in prison, according to a text in the page number 16, second point, you can understand that 30 years in prison he spent. The first election is going to held in the year 1994. In the 1994 election, he is going to become a first black president, but that agony is there in his mind, that pain is there in his mind, but we cannot find any sort of discrimination against white people in his speech. So that is what the long travel towards the freedom has taught to the Nelson Mandela, and this is what he is trying to teach the entire world community. And he told that in this speech, he told that confer glory and hope to the newborn liberty out of the experiences of extraordinary human disaster. And here he might have mentioned that he can mention that extraordinary disaster given by white, but he didn't mention that. He generalized everything. He don't want to pass on he don't want to transfer the vengeance to the next generation. That's why he mentioned that out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long. So, and he mentioned this victory as a common victory. It is a common victory. In this line, we can understand that the people of our country of what is, after all, a common victory for justice. He spent his 30 years in prison, and he mentioned that it is a common victory for justice. It is a kind of humbleness, for peace, for human dignity. And we have at last achieved he didn't tell that we successfully, we have at last achieved our political emancipation. What is my emancipation? Emancipation is nothing but the freedom from the restriction, the freedom from the obstacles, the freedom from the clutches of something. So finally we got the political emancipation, political freedom we got. And but with the help of the political emancipation, what we are going to do? We are going to cut off the bondage of poverty. We are going to cut off the continuation of deprivation and sufferings and gender discrimination. Here he particularly pinpoint that the gender discrimination is there, so hereafter it should not be continued. And also other discrimination in the name of anything, in the name of caste, in the name of money, in the name of class, in the name of gender, it should not happen at any means. And also it should not happen in between black and white. In this regard, he is always very clear. Throughout the lesson, he is very clear in this regard. And this line, you can use it in your answer script also. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. Let freedom reign. God bless Africa. So this kind of positive note, and then these 1.5 line you can memorize and you can write it when you are writing for a long answer. It will definitely attract the examiner and you can get a nice mark. After the speech, all of them, those who are sitting there, they raised their eyes towards the sky. What is happening there? There is a aircraft, the aircraft that we can remember that from our India also during the Independence Day, during the Republic Day, the aircraft will be flying there with it will produce the smoke in tricolor in India. So like that in South Africa, that aircraft producing the smoke in the following colors. What are all the colors? These colors might have might have been an important question when you are going for a board exam. What are all the colors? Black, red, green, blue and gold of the new South African flag. So in this two regard, it is very important. They can ask the question in what color the smoke was produced. Might be. If they want to make the question very difficult, this question they can ask. What are all the colors? Again, I am repeating. Black, red, green, blue and gold of the, it represents the new South African flag. And the day was symbolized for me by the playing of our two national anthem. And again I am telling that he didn't want to pass the revenge or vengeance to the next generation. And in this day, they are playing two national anthem. Of course, you know, one is for white people and one is for black people. And the vision of white singing Nkosi Sikelel Africa. NKOSI SIKELEL -IAFRIKA. So from the regular spelling of Africa, it is getting different. That's why I am pronouncing it again. AFRIKA. Kindly remember that, it will help you. And the black singing Daistam. So what is the national anthem for black people? What was the national anthem for white people? They might ask. So for white people, Nkosi Sikelel Africa. For the black people, it is Daistam. So in this area, you must be very clear. It is in the page number 19 and second paragraph. And he talks about the reality. I don't know how we have to take it, whether it is in a humorous way or not, I don't know. But he told that many of them don't know actually the meaning of the song they are singing. They are singing only because of out of the happiness. But soon they will memorize the lines and its meanings. And on the day of inauguration, I was overwhelmed with the sense of history. And sense of history is whenever we are celebrating the Independence Day or Republic Day, it is to remember the history. It is to remember the sacrifices of our forefathers. So here, in this occasion, he is overwhelmed because of the sense of history. When that slavery started there, it started suddenly after the Anglo-Boer War. And just before the birth of sorry, not just before, it is before the birth of Nelson Mandela. This is what he mentioned here. And that South Africa patched up the differences and erected a system of racial domination. So this term is very important, racial domination. I mentioned before racial discrimination and racial domination he is again mentioning, and against the dark skinned people of their own land. The people, those who are enslaved here is indigenous people. They are the people of the land, but now they are being exploited. As you know already, the year is 1994, so it is almost the last decade of the 20th century. So he mentioned that in the last decade of the 20th century, it is coming to an end. So we are going to have an end for this racial discrimination and also the colonization and pain of Nelson Mandela. Here, Nelson Mandela mentioned about his pain. The pain is nothing but plenty of them has fought for the freedom of South Africa, but they are not now present. They are not here to witness the result of their freedom struggle, to witness the result of their hard work. He mentioned some names also here. What are all the names? And before we mentioning the name, I would like to tell you that there is a positive effect for this apartheid. What is a positive effect for the apartheid means? This difficult situation has given us one perfect mind. So the difficult situation, even though it is a difficult situation, it has given a perfect mind. What are the perfect mind? What are they? Who are all they? They are Oliver Tambo, Walter Sisulu, and Chief Luthuli, and Yusuf Dado, and Bram Fisher, and Robert Soki. So these are all the persons, those who have fought for the freedom. Of course, they are also a part of the freedom fight. So these are all the names he mentioned in his speech. But he feels sorry for them. It gives him a pain that they are not present now. They are not now there to witness what their hardships, what their hard work has given. They are not able to see the result. And once we got the freedom, we have to calculate the richness or the wealth of the country. Then only we can take the country forward in a right manner. So he calculated it. My country is rich in minerals. In the page number 21, you can see that first paragraph. My country is rich in minerals and germs that lie beneath its soil. It is lying there. It is there. But I have always known that its greatest wealth is not a diamond, not a gold, not any mineral, but its people. They are finer, they are truer than the purest diamond. So Nelson Mandela is completely away from the materialistic thinking. He is completely away from the materialistic thinking, and he is actually a die-hard believer of democracy. And he remember that many of them, women or children or men, those who are fight back against that supremacy, but what makes them to fight back? It is their courage. So what is their courage? It is very important to define courage. And as we are present generation, we also should know the definition from the people like Nelson Mandela. So what is courage? He explaining courage. Courage was not an absence of fear, but the triumph over it, the coming over it, the success over it. Everyone have the fear. I am having a fear, and you may have your own fear. But what is courage means? Keeping our fear aside and keeping our fear inside our mind, we have to come over it. Keeping our so it doesn't mean that the courageous person may not have the fear. No, he also may have the fear, but he will not show it. He will come over it. That is what the definition of courage. Again, I am reading that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. In the page number 21, you can see in the second paragraph, last line. The brave man is not the who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers the fear. and he tells the theory of hatred. No one is here to born hate other. And for a human being, love comes naturally to him. But for us, the hatred, it should be taught by someone else. It should be taught by someone else. For example, we can take a newborn child. When it is born, when someone is coming, it will smile because the love comes naturally to the human being. But after some 5 years or 6 years only, it may be able to identify good one and bad one, and what is hated and all. So for a human being, love comes naturally than the hated. And the hatred is also important in this present scenario according to Nelson Mandela. Why means if you know how to hate others, means then only we can go and teach them what is love. To teach the love, to spread the love, we need hatred in the minds of people. So hatred is also having some vital role in spreading the love and teaching the love. Such a kind of optimistic ideology from Nelson Mandela we can experience here. What is goodness? The man's goodness is nothing but, he told that the man's goodness can be hidden, but it cannot be extinguished. That's why he compared the goodness with the fire. That fire can be hidden for a while, for a minute, according to the size of the fire, according to the power of the fire, quantity of the fire, we can hide it for a while, for a minute, for an half an hour, for an 1 hour, for a 3 hour, but it cannot be extinguished. The goodness is also like that. You can hide it for a while, but one day, even if you are oppressor, even if you are enslaving someone, even if you are a colonizer, your goodness one day will come out. For that, he is telling one experience. When he is in a prison, at some point he will be forced to the edge of his patience. And on that time, even though there are 100 of them is discriminating him, there might be one or two, we can see the kindness in their look. That kindness is a driven force which makes Nelson Mandela to move forward. So he mentioned that if you want good from the group or from the people, from the available sources, we can filter the goodness. If you are searching for a bad thing, means from the group, from the available sources, we can take the badness. It is all about our mindset, what we are looking for. He is looking for the goodness. That's why from among the 100 members, among the 100 police, among the 100 person, among the 100 white people, he can see only one good people. That he is taking as an inspiration and he is moving forward. As a good citizen of South Africa, he talks about twin obligation. Twin obligation or twin duties, they are nothing but an obligation towards the family and obligation towards the society. What is the obligation towards the family? To take care of the dad, to take care of the mom, to take care of the children, to take care of the wife. So this is a obligation towards the family. And what is the obligation towards society? To go and fight for the country, to go and take care of the country, to go and have a rectification in a society. So as a man, as a right citizen, everyone should have twin obligation. But in the country like South Africa, it is not possible to have a twin obligation. When you are focusing towards the society, you will be sent away from, you will be alienated from your first obligation, familial obligation. So when you are deciding it, you have to be very sure that if you cannot follow twin obligation, you cannot fulfill the twin obligation. So that, for example, you can take Nelson Mandela's life. 30 years he spent in the prison. So, of course, in the second obligation, he won. But think of the first obligation. Whether did he have an opportunity to take care of the family? Did he have the opportunity to take care of his parents? No, not at all. So 30 years if he spent in a prison means almost the entire life he lost. But the result of that sacrifice, now we can see in South Africa. They are living in a democratic country. That freedom is a gift of the 30 years of struggle in prison. In his childhood, he talks about one of his illusion. He thinks that the entire country is free because in his village, he can be able to go wherever he wants. He is playing in a river, he is playing in the field, and he is playing everywhere, so that he thought that we are free, we are in freedom, we don't have any problem. But when he became adult only he understand that it is not true, it is an illusion. My brothers and sisters, brothers means my citizen, my country people, the brothers and citizens represents the people of the country. So my brothers and sisters, they are robbed of their humanity, they are exploited. He came to understand it in the later phase only, and he mentioned one line. That line I will read, that will help you to understand the essence of the lesson. The page number 23, line 12. I'll read it and then I will explain. Freedom is indivisible. The chains on any one of my people were the chains on all of them. The chains on all of my people were the chains on me. It has the connection. If you are exploiting any one from the South Africa, it means that you are exploiting the entire country. If you are exploiting the entire people of the country, means you are exploiting me. So that it is somewhat related to his life, which means that if you are exploiting someone, it means that you are exploiting the entire country. If you are exploiting the entire country, then I will come. So you cannot exploit even a single person hereafter. That is what he is trying to convey. The last line, the oppressor and the oppressed alike, both were robbed of their humanity. So when you are oppressing someone, when you are enslaving someone, when you are treating someone with unfair treatment, kindly be sure that you are not exploiting others, and also of course you are exploiting others, and at the same time you are exploiting yourself. So you are a prisoner of hatred now. You are not able to come out. If you are in a prison now, you may not be able to come out. So if you are hating someone continuously now, you are a prisoner of hatred. You yourself may not be able to come out of the situation. So in this end, what all the terms very important. Now I will repeat it. Kindly make sure that these terms, when you are writing the answer for long answer or short answer, this term, if it is there now, that it will make you to score good marks. Apartheid. What is apartheid? In the first line it is there. Apartheid. Apartheid is a political system that separates people according to their race. Apartheid is nothing but it is a discrimination based on the race. And other thing is that South Africa, the country South Africa, the term is very important. The name is very important. And discrimination, gender discrimination, racial discrimination, colonization, white supremacy, ANC. What is ANC? This question can be asked. African National Congress. And when Nelson Mandela was born, how many countries represented the democratic government, and how many countries take part in the function? It is 140 countries. And in which place the ceremony is taken place? It is nothing but lovely sandstone amphitheater formed by Union Building in Pretoria. When the speech is given, 10th May 1994. And who is the second deputy president? Thabo Mbeki. Who is the first deputy president? Mr. D. Clerk. And who were all the first line or front line freedom fighters of South Africa? Oliver Tambo, Walter Sisulu, Chief Luthuli, Yusuf Dadoo, Bram Fisher, and Robert Sobke. And the important question may be, what is courage? What are all the twin obligation? On what is a man's goodness? The flame and nothing can be extinguished, that answer. And what is the Nelson Mandela's illusion? Why Nelson Mandela thinks that oppressor and oppressed both are robbed of their humanity? So these questions, and emancipation. What is emancipation? What is political emancipation? If you know answer for these questions, and what is the name of Nelson Mandela's daughter, Zenani? So these questions might have a vital role in it will play the vital role in your board exam or in a board exam aspect. So kindly see to that and prepare well. Thank you all. Thank you all for watching Envision English. Thank you.